continues Thursday at 8 on BBC One and iPlayer.
Begin on the bark. I love that. 8:39 now. This morning on The Breakfast Show, we are joined by one of our favourite actresses, known for her espionage antics as super spy, Zoe Reynolds in Spooks, before becoming one of TV's favourite inspectors, D.I. Alex Drake, in Ashes to Ashes, The Durrells. She's done it all. In fact, we've had a conversation. Has she ever been anything bad? We'll ask her that right now. She's here to talk about Finding Alice and also It's a Sin and To Olivia, 3 projects. Good morning, Keeley Hawes. How are you, darling?
Hello, good morning, Zoe. I'm very, very well, thank you. How are you?
We're all good, actually. In the strange times that we're living in, Keeley, we are.
No, I'm sad I can't be there with you in the studio, but it's lovely to hear your voice on this miserable grey morning. So,
hello, darling. We've just had a conversation. Gary next door, he's the one who holds this all together. He was saying Keeley's never done anything bad. She's like Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks of the telly world. Have you ever done a telly drama?
Kind of you, Gary.
Has there been anything that you've wanted to forget, Keeley? Any that you weren't so fond of?
There's always something good, even if something's terrible. You know, it's usually the awful things that you have the best time on. So, but yeah, I've literally been doing this for about 30 years. So the bad stuff is in there, Gary. Yes, but
good luck, Gary. See if you can find it.
Good luck.
Let's start talking about Finding Alice. As the song says, slightly adapted, Alice. Who the heck is Alice? Tell us all about her, Keeley.
Well, Finding Alice is basically about a woman called Alice who we meet as she's moving into her dream house, which has been built by her beloved husband, Harry. And unfortunately, on their first night in this house, so this isn't too big of a spoiler. I think we all know by now what the show's about. Her husband, unfortunately, falls down the stairs and dies. And so the show really is about what happens from that moment onwards. It's about the unravelling that occurs in someone's life when someone close to them dies. And so it has been written by the brilliant, hugely talented Simon Nye and Roger Goldby. And we were the team. We worked together on The Durrells.
Yeah.
So we have a lovely shorthand, and that's all been a very lovely experience. And also, of course, what they bring to it is a lovely humour, because, you know, it is a show about death, and it is a show about grief, which we're all familiar with, but it's also very much about life, and living life, and finding life again after a catastrophic event like this. So for our Alice, it's about what she does next.
Yeah, it is. Do you know what? It's deliciously funny as well. You know, that black humour that we've all been through grief. I mean, some people haven't lost people dear to them, but anyone who has lost someone dear to them, you know, in those darkest moments, there are these things that happen that do make you laugh a little bit, or the odd things that happen, or the frustrating things that happen, and it's dealt with so brilliantly throughout. There are some moments where I really was sort of quite tearful, and then moments where I was laughing out loud, because it's so joyous. The cast as well.
Yeah, the cast are just phenomenal. Joanna Lumley, Nigel Havers, Isabella Pappas, who plays my daughter Charlotte, Ken Cram and Gemma Jones, Sharon Rooney. They are just brilliant, Sharon Rooney. That was a joy, and as you say, it's finding those moments of humour, because there is humour in those moments. You know, everyone's got a funny story about something that's happened at a funeral, or and I think as human beings, you know, we tend to look for the light during those times, and hopefully we've captured that as well, in amongst, you know, taking grief very seriously.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think something that, you know, where people are struggling at the moment, you know, just trying to find those moments. This show will be perfect viewing for that. Also, loving everything that follows Harry's death. What has Harry been up to? Who is everybody? people turning up, bills not being paid, it all unfolds. It's fabulous.
And also people behaving in a very strange way sometimes. And I think that is something that's something that we've definitely tried to capture, and I hope we've succeeded in people can behave in very strange ways around people who are grieving.
Yes.
And people who are grieving can behave in very strange ways. Hopefully that is in there too.
I know. I think it's sometimes the things people say to you when you're grieving, and you think, is that seriously an appropriate thing to say?
Really?
But then often they're very anxious and don't know how to handle it. So, yeah, you've captured that brilliantly. I must mention George Webster as well. Know George's family very well. He's rather fab, and he plays a role in that. We'll talk more because we've got It's a Sin and to Olivia to cover as well. Keeley, you've been so busy, lady. So busy. It's so brilliant. Finding Alice starts on ITV this Sunday at 9 o'clock. You're going to love it, folks. More from Keeley after M People 8:45. People on BBC Radio 2. Listen to The Breakfast Show with me, Zoe. We are talking to the wonderful Keeley Hawes. 3 projects at the moment. Keeley, you've been so busy. It's wonderful. Not only are we going to find you in Finding Alice, starting on ITV this weekend, but also you're going to be starring in Russell T Davies' new drama, It's a Sin. Did you jump at the chance to work with Russell? He's such an incredible writer.
The chance.
Yeah.
I leapt at the chance. I read a press release about the show before I'd read any of the scripts or knew anything about it really. And I said to my husband, I would love to be in that. Funnily enough. And then, a few months later, some scripts arrived, some of the best scripts I've ever read, the first 4 of the 5 episodes. And I read those very quickly, and I laughed and I cried and I just threw myself I was so thrilled and delighted to have the opportunity to work with Russell, to work with Nicholas Schindler. They're just a wonderful magical combination. So it was really exciting and just such an amazing story, and so many parallels, weirdly, to the time that we're living in now.
Yeah.
So interesting.
It's a Sin. It takes a look at the HIV epidemic of the 80s, and it's going to be on Channel 4 starting next Friday. That's the 22nd of January. So wonderful story. I mean, I've seen the trailers for it. It looks absolutely fabulous.
Yes. It centres on a group of friends who move into a flat very early on in the 80s, 1981, and this flat, they call it the Pink Palace, and they are all at the starts of their lives and their careers, and as we follow them on that journey, there is the shadow of this new virus, and no one knows what it is and where it's come from, and it starts to affect each of those characters in different ways. And I play Valerie Tozer, who is the mother of Richie, who's played by the incredible Ollie Alexander from the band Years and Years, which I didn't know anything about Years and Years because I'm old. So, but then I did hear some Years and Years on the radio, and I was like, oh my God, it's Ollie.
This is you, Ollie.
This is you, Ollie. So. I can't wait for everyone to see the performances of these young actors are incredible. Many of them, were just out of drama school. I think one of them, Callum, was still in drama school. So it's really exciting to see their work, and it was just a wonderful thing to work on. So
fabulous.
Again, it's about life and death, and all of those very human things that we all have to go through. So. Very, very exciting.
Also, you're in To Olivia, which is on Sky Cinema. I know there's a lot to get through. I tell you,
always the way. It's always the way. These things are always
they all come out at the same time.
The lockdown, I think, it's just so happened this way. But yes, apologies.
No, don't. We all need stuff to watch. Honestly, I've watched the whole of Netflix and the BBC iPlayer. I really need new stuff, Keeley. Now, in this, you star alongside Downton Abbey star Hugh Bonneville, gorgeous Hugh. A film all about Roald Dahl and his wife, the actress Patricia Neal. Bizarrely, I just watched this weekend in HUD. I'd never seen it before. She also starred in Breakfast at Tiffany's. And again, a very sensitive story about Patricia and Roald.
Yes, and not one that I knew at all. So it was really, really interesting to find out all about that. I mean, they were married for 30 years. They had 5 children. They had, at one point, Patricia had a series of strokes and had to learn how to walk and talk again. She won an Oscar. Roald became very successful. The author that we now know. But also, at one point, they lost one of their children, Olivia, to measles encephalitis. So that is the moment that we concentrate on in our film. So it is a film about them dealing with the grief of losing a child. So and again, it is about. It's a very human story, and it's the way that Roald finds it very difficult to deal with, as they both do, and how Patricia has to be incredibly strong, sort of on behalf of both of them and their children. So it's a heartbreaking story and really interesting. About a man that we all feel that we know so well. That he and they had this extraordinary life. You couldn't have fitted it into one film.
Yeah.
You'd need some more. But this moment certainly is a story worth telling.
Well, my goodness me. Finding Alice starts on ITV this Sunday at 9. You can see Keeley and Russell T Davies' It's a Sin. Channel 4 starting Friday the 22nd of January. And film To Olivia will be on Sky Cinema on Friday the 19th of February. Before I let you go, Keeley, one quick question. You can answer very quickly. Matthew, your chap, Succession, are they managing to film season 3?
They are.
Yes, good. That's all we needed to know. Another favourite.
Everyone, fingers crossed.
Thank you, darling girl. Lovely to talk to you.
Lots of love. Thank you so much. And have a great day, everyone.
Oh, thank you, Keeley. So many people have been in touch. They absolutely love you. And thanks for all the goodies, stuff for us to watch. Oh, my goodness me. Keeley Hawes, everybody. Thank you.